Howdy, 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 and welcome to another episode of the Dirt Info Podcast. As I always ask, if you could just hit the like and or subscribe down there, it'd be greatly appreciated. And with that, let's go ahead and jump into our first segment.
It's called Stylin and Profile.
Thanks, Rick. Carter, I'm gonna switch it up, and I'm gonna go first, just because we
Okay.
didn't discuss who was doing what. But so ever since I bought that Cole Falloway green shirt, I've decided I look good in green. So I've been on the hunt, and I found this James Trentino one at the Topless Nats in the clearance bin, no less. So I was all over that. I almost grabbed a couple different ones, but I'm a fan of James and what he's kind of doing over there. He's getting better as a racer, and he definitely has quite the influence in race teams and stuff. So wanted to
Is
support
that
the
a
local
like
guy.
a this year shirt or was it a last
No,
year
I
one?
think this
Okay.
is this might be last year. This might even be 2 years ago, to be completely honest with you. So, um, but I think it was 15 bucks for big man sizes. So like that's a slam dunk. All the time you get discounted shirts. So
Um, I'll go. Mine is so I didn't get I never got a event shirt from Marshalltown, but we did. I mentioned we were going to the can't really read that, the Sprint Car Hall of Fame,
okay, yeah.
and I got one of those shirts instead.
Oh, I dig that.
Yeah, so I thought it was I don't know, something different. And the event shirt at Marshalltown this year was like a reprint of last year, just different color, and they added a late model on it, and I was like, well,
Okay,
I don't know. It wasn't changed up enough for me. I already got that basically. Like I'll get this
fair enough.
instead.
Fair enough. And that's a nice cross between like having a racing shirt, but also showing off like that you're a learned man who likes museums too. So it's almost like a dress up shirt in a way. If your entire closet's just racing shirts, when you got to dress up, you're going to grab the museum shirt now. You look
Exactly.
classy. Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't have someone else's name across your chest either.
Precisely, precisely. I'm on to you. I see why you got that one now. We were just talking about how you were in need of different shirts. Now I caught on to you, Carter. But anyway, uh one of us went racing, one of us didn't. Obviously, Carter everyone who's watching knows Carter went to the Harvest Hustle, but he mentioned it again there just a second ago. But uh tell us about it, bud.
Yeah, so Friday night was heat races, and they do the double heats thing. And as it was last year, and I kind of expected, Friday night was a long night. Um, shorter than Saturday though. But they
Yeah.
got done at tw
Hold on. I want point of order. You take this shot saying, well, they can get through this quickly, so that's why they do
I
double
thought
heats. And
they
then you
could.
come back next week and you're telling me you were there late into the night. So, hey,
Well, it was
yeah,
they got done at 12:49, so it was te and they started
all
at
right.
7:20, so it was like 5 hours and 20 minutes or something. They had like 50 heat races to run, 52. I don't remember the exact number. It was a lot though. Um, and then so yeah, that was just all heats, nothing really too crazy. There was two four-cylinder rolls, which you said you never saw any until earlier this year, and there was
Yeah.
two. I actually didn't see either of them. I happened to be looking the other side of the track for both of them.
Oh,
So I never saw them, but they happened. And then and then Saturday was the B mains. I don't even know, heat races B main feature day. They have a kind of a goofy format, um, and that started at 6:30 and got done at 1:40. So that was not ideal, and that it was cold too. That was I told Josh this earlier, but this was the first time since either 2020 or 2021 where I had to go back to my car to warm up. I skipped two mod B mains. I was like, screw it, we're warming up. And
getting old.
yeah, I know. I thought they were gonna do track prep after them too, and then all of a sudden they mod lights were rolling out for their feature. I'm like, oh crap! All right, guess I'm not gonna be in there as long as I thought.
I'm as
Um,
warm as I'm gonna be.
yeah. Um, and then they also added the pro late models Saturday too, and they got 23 of those. So I was fine with that. Cut off the B main, but still get a full field. We don't need more racing. Um, but I saw they put on Facebook for next year, they're already working on adjusting the format to shorten it because I feel like you could just kind of do like B mains features because they did it like heats and then there was like also a B main. It was like basically they did more heats Saturday. Like they're lined up by like points and then B mains and then
Okay.
features. Yeah. So I'm guessing and they talked about starting earlier next year, which last year they started earlier than this year. So I don't know why they changed that.
Okay.
Um, I don't know if it was for like track prep or like not racing in the day, but I mean it rubbered both times. So clearly, might as
Yeah.
well just run during the day. It's gonna rubber both times. Um, but yeah, the
Yeah.
racing was good until it rubbered. The late model feature rubbered, so that one kind of sucked. The mod feature, it was pretty much rubbered. 1 and 2 you could do a bit in, but like always, the hobby stocks came out and had one of the better races of the night after it was
They did put
clearly
down a
rubber,
banger.
clearly rubbered, and they just came out there and had no issues. So just put everyone on hobby stock tires at this point because
Uh,
clearly it works.
be honest, I turned it on the because that was running late. I wrapped up my Halloween party and had everything picked up, and I was like, I wonder if this is still going. And I turned it on, and the hobby stock feature was on. So I turned it on to a banger. So it was a
Yeah,
pretty good race.
and right before that, it was like a rubbered late model feature. So
Okay.
and they didn't do anything for they might have put some water down, but that saves it for 5 laps and then it just rubbers again.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, you saw like the whole race, there was guys running all over during that, and then
Yeah.
they
Last lap
can,
pass for the win.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I don't know, hobby stocks, they're great, and I want them out here.
Oh,
Maybe
they could
one day they'll return.
maybe, hopefully. They did put down a really, really good show. So the dude who won, Cody Butt, I think he's like 14 years old. And he
Carson,
put
but
him
yes,
is
I
it
don't know.
Carson? Okay, yeah,
Yeah, I
sorry.
didn't know his
Yeah.
age. But he is younger. Yeah, I don't. They say his
Yeah.
age?
I read it somewhere during show prep, but I caught wind of it that he was like 14 years old. And I was like,
Oh,
dang, because I found that out today. I was David record. I watched that 2 days ago, but that was a good race. I looked back at my notes. It was with 2 to go that he took the lead, but I mean, he was hounding that guy the whole way. That was actually a really,
I
really good race.
I
So,
think that was the best feature of the night, if I remember right. There wasn't a ton of really bangers, but that one was pretty good. Um,
yeah,
and then Dallin Murdy doubled up in stock cars and late models.
yep, yeah,
McBurney won. Jake McBurney, Matt Avila, Randy Bryan, and Michael Gardner were the other winners. Uh,
yep, yep.
but Yeah, the late models were cool. The heat races for the late models were actually pretty good too. It sucks the feature rubber, but the heats were really good. There was one, I don't remember what heat it was. There was the one Cody Thompson was in, but they were like 4 wide coming, not for the checkered, but like coming to the line at one point. And I was like, oh, this is good. This is good stuff. Late models there are sweet. So
Just got to be able to keep the track in shape. I
yeah,
mean, is it just the pure amount of? I mean, it
It's
must
just
be.
the amount of racing on it. Yeah, there's just so much. I mean, they had
It's
200.
gotta
First day they had 259, and then Saturday they had 284. They technically had less than 284, but I wasn't tracking who was there Friday and who wasn't.
right, right, right.
I just
Yeah,
tossed on the late
MRP's
models.
good enough.
Yeah,
Yeah, MRP's good enough. Yeah, well, I suppose then they did those heats too, right? They didn't just like go into B mains and have people locked
exactly.
in being heat.
Yeah,
So yeah, yeah. I mean, I know it's heats,
they
but
did
it was
lock
cold as
in.
hell. That's the part there where I'm like, usually it rubbers up pretty good when it's hot out. Cold,
Yeah, well,
sometimes
I
not
think it
as
doesn't help
much. But
too that Friday they had 50 some heats on it, and then they had a run. Usually, the second day of a show is always the one that rubbers because they just race down it the whole day before.
right to the hell out of it. Yeah, you
But
make
yeah,
good points. You make
they
good
had
points.
that was a record car count, I guess, for them too, like ever at
Nice.
Marshalltown. So that was cool to see. It was funny. I think they've done this before, but the speakers weren't working. I guess from when I was told, the raccoon like bit through the cord or something, and they got it fixed eventually. But Friday night, Jerry, all of a sudden the ambulance like kind of pulled up near the front stretch, and Jerry was talking over like the ambulance like speaker, like out to the crowd.
Okay. Yeah.
So, and then
Well,
they were about to just start racing, and then like right as they were about to start, I think they got it fixed. So they quickly did the national anthem, and they were like, "We're gonna postpone the national anthem for now, and we'll do it later." And then right as the cars pulled out for the first heat, I think they got it fixed, and they're like, "All right, we're gonna do it now because they're working right now. They might not work later, but it's working now."
oh, right on. Right on. Yeah. So actually speaking of announcers, so Jason Frommelt did part of the call, at least on the broadcast that I was
Yep.
watching. And I
Saturday
just
he
want to
was
report,
there.
I really enjoy him. He's a very good announcer.
Yeah,
I
I like
really
him
do
too.
like his work. Yep. Yep. So I just kind of want to shout him out. I did he left a comment on TikTok. I told him to be on the lookout for you. I said you were shy, so he was gonna have to make the
I did
approach.
see him. To be honest, I did see him there. I did not walk up to him, but I saw him.
Yeah, I figured you wouldn't. But I was curious if he made any counter happen. No, but I don't hear him as much now as I had previously. So, but every time I do catch him, I'm always just like, God dang, he's good. I like, some guys overuse sayings, some don't. I feel like he just strikes the perfect balance of like he's got some sayings, some sayings he likes to rely on, but he doesn't like. It's not just a cliche machine the whole time,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And his are pretty folksy too, so they make me giggle too. So there's always that as well. But anyway, uh, but yeah, I like I said, I caught some of it. It did look like it was a bummer, and it actually looked cold. I'm not even sure. I might have seen you on TV at one
Uh,
point. Were you
you
on like the straightaway near towards turn one, like
yeah,
five
I
or
was
six rows off
directly
the?
behind the flag stand,
Okay,
like in
I
line
don't
with
know.
it.
I don't know how hard I was looking. I don't remember exactly where that was. But at
Saturday,
one point during like the one of the last features, there was like nobody in the stands except for two dudes like huddled up, and I'm like, I wonder if
did
that's
was
not
one of
Ryan
them? Did one of them have
Ackard.
a purple blanket by chance?
I remember seeing red, like a red jacket.
Oh,
I'm going by
uh,
memory here, but
I don't think that was us then.
no.
No,
Okay, all
but I
right,
had a Vikings blanket, so if you saw a purple
okay.
blanket, that would have been me.
It might could have been, but the red jacket sticks out, so that wasn't you. I figured I pegged Ryan for a red jacket kind of guy for some reason, so I just wasn't
Mm-mm.
super
I don't
surprised.
think it like a black or brown jacket. I don't know. It wasn't red.
Yeah. Well, when you wear as many layers as that guy does, I mean, you're gonna have all the colors represented eventually. But anyway, well, fun was had. Um, I didn't go racing, but I do want to mention a couple things I did just because I thought they were kind of fun, and if I'm not at a racetrack, I still like do cool stuff. But anyway, I went to a football game on Friday. So Xavier's on the varsity team. He technically starting JV, starting scout team, but he's there. He suits up and I like football. So we go to these games. And his team's undefeated. They're like the second ranked team in the 5A class in Minnesota. And so they had their first home playoff game of this bracket. And they had the game ball airdropped in by the US Navy. Like I thought that was one of the cooler things I've ever seen at a high school football game. I've learned since that apparently some other schools around here do it more regularly because they're a little more affluent. But I thought that was pretty dope. So I enjoyed that. Um, and then they won. So now they're in. I think technically it's like we're in the Sweet 16 right now, and if they win this one, they technically go to state, and then there's only 8 teams left at that point. So
Oh yeah, that's
um,
right. High school playoffs are kind of weird. I don't know. I'm so used to like NFL playoffs.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So I mean, quick synopsis: they like played in a conference, and then they're playing through that conference for a state bid. So all the teams they've already played ended up in a bracket, and now they're back in the finals against the team that played them the closest this season. And so, but if they win, then there's only like 8 conferences in the state for this level of football, and then that'll be the last 8 teams, and then so they're technically in the state tournament at that point. So, could be pretty cool. When I was a junior, coincidentally, I rode the bench, but I was still on the team, and we went all the way to the state finals. We played in the Metrodome, so this was when the dome was the dome. We played in the dome. I remember I had to get like special Chris Carter shoes to play on the turf. But yeah, so it's kind of a cool experience. I'm rooting for them, obviously rooting for the kiddo. So, but anyway, that was something I did on Saturday. That was definitely fun. Same day had a Halloween party, and I dressed up as Diesel, and Sherry dressed up as Shawn Michaels. I know I said that last episode, but that was pretty fun. We won best costume. We won
Oh,
best
out of
couples costume.
how many entries?
I believe 5. So it was a
Oh,
thin
okay.
field, but yeah,
It wasn't like
yeah,
it was two. You had to beat a few
yeah.
people.
It wasn't in a route, and everyone tried, so that counted too. So
Yeah, you were the only two dressed up.
yeah, no, no. So that was kind of cool. And then I turned around that, and I went and I kind of got myself roped in to help Xavier's fishing team. So his high school has a fishing team. And I got roped into helping that, and so I had to go to a pancake breakfast. I had to volunteer for a pancake breakfast, and I was walking around cleaning up tables and everything. And that was actually shockingly really like as we were walking out after this 2-hour shift and doing all this serving of the community, I looked at Sherry and I was just like, my cup's really full right now. Like that actually felt really good. I know I'm like exhausted and I was up late watching racing after a party and everything, but it felt good to give back. So that was kind of neat. But that was sort of my weekend in a nutshell. As far as racing is concerned, what I really truly actually watched as far as racing goes was the one show you were at.
That was the only racing I saw too. So
Yep, yep. But I did follow along a few things. Um, we touched on it last week, and I kind of was like, this USMTS season feels like it's just fizzling out, and I guess I was foreshadowing because it just completely fizzled out. So they were rained out this past weekend. I think they were at like Lakeside in 81 or
yeah,
something like that, Kansas, Missouri. Yep. But they rained out, and that is the end of the season. That's just with no fanfare. Didn't win. Didn't weren't really crowned around your peers or anything. You just everyone was told not to show up, and Randy Sanders is your 6-time USMTS champion. So, um, damn, that's depressing and sort of boring and just like, eh. But anyway, I went long on it last week, so I don't need to go long on it this week. It's just, I don't know. Can't control the weather, but you can control the schedule. I think that's where I want to leave that one. You cannot control the schedule. You cannot control the weather, but you can control the schedule. You absolutely can. And then there's friends we should notice. I'm just saying. Anyway, moving right along. Um, no, and what's interesting is they were supposed to finish their season at Hot this weekend. I do want to mention this. Their USMTS had a date at Hot for their final two shows, and then unfortunately the track owner passed away and everything, and that was the reason given for the cancellation. They're racing this weekend. IMCA mods. They've got their fall season special at Hot. The Bet All Lucky 13. Fall Classic is at Hot this weekend. It was supposed to be last weekend. It got rained out, and they rescheduled it for this weekend. So, I mean, I don't know everything, and I want to give the benefit of the doubt, but it just seems so odd to me. Anyway, moving right along. Oh, also, I do want to mention, so Rodney won, Mullins was second, Jim Chisholm took third, and then Joe Chisholm took fourth, and also won the Rookie of the Year. So that's kind of your rundown there. And then Reese Solander was the Rookie of the Year runner-up, and Trevor Hughes was third. So they actually,
were those
for only having
the only three rookies that ran the whole thing at least?
And Troy Girolamo.
Oh, okay.
And he didn't run, and Troy didn't run the whole thing. So those are the only three. And Reese didn't run the whole thing either, to be completely
Oh,
honest
okay.
with you.
I thought he did.
Reese was a couple shows as well. But that is actually a really strong rookie class. I will say that for only having something like 9 guys follow the tour. At least they have 3 solid rookies who look to be, well, Joe Chisholm's going to be in a late model before we know it. He was running one earlier this season, and I think that's foreshadowing as well. But anyway, so that's that. They had some interesting rookies. Maybe that'll bode well for them. Maybe it won't. But anyway, and then we had mentioned staying on mods for a moment. We had mentioned the mega modified weekend.
But
I
not
think it was
so
just a
mega.
modified weekend. I think it was just modified weekend. But they did get the shows in, and they did race. So it was modifieds and B mods were racing for kind of boosted payout, I would say. But on Friday, Mike Harrison won 2,000 in a modified. And then on Saturday, he won 5,000 in a modified. And then on the B mod bash side of things, Dave Wheatholder won
Hmm.
on Friday, usually in a mod. And then Kenny Schrader won on
yeah.
Saturday. Yeah. And Kenny Wallace took third, I think, or something like that. So the B mods was a bit of I think it was kind of like a jamboree. It was more, you know what I mean? Like guys were goofing. I don't want to say goofing around, but guys who don't normally run found a ride and went out and had some fun. So that was kind of cool. Car count wasn't great, but they ran the show. So, hey, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Yeah. Take what you can get. So that was kind of neat. And then on the late model side of things, so we talked, I think the most about the Fall Classic, and that was kind of the one that I followed the most. Oh, down at Whynot, excuse me. And so they had 2 split prelim features on Friday, and Trey Mills and Garrett Alberson picked those up. And then on Saturday they were racing for, what was it, 25,000?
I think it was 25, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And Ashton Winger won that. Speaking of Winger, he had news earlier in the weekend.
Yeah,
you should tell it. You were there.
I wasn't there.
I thought that was the weekend you were there.
It was the October weekend. The weekend I'm usually there. I had tickets for it or reserved seats, but I wasn't there. But yeah, Winger got got DQ'd for his tires. I don't know if he won both nights, but he won. I think he won Saturday for sure, and he got
Yeah,
DQ'd
it was
from
a
that night.
Saturday. Yeah, yeah.
But he
I
did,
guess
yeah,
it's like it's
he did win when I was there in August too. But I don't think he got DQ'd from that one.
that we heard of. I did hear it was just like his second one of the season. So
Yeah, something happened. I don't remember. Was it Magnolia? I remember it happening earlier this summer. Something
hmm.
happening.
Yeah, I do. Dirt Tracker kind of had a random post, and he was like, "I'd just love for someone to come up and be like, yeah, we doped the hell out of him. Bummer we got caught, but we are not gonna get that. But anyway, and then a show that we didn't mention as much, but had a somewhat interesting field was the night the stars came out, and that was at
Atomic.
Atomic. Yep, Atomic. And so Mike Marlar swept the late model portion of that 5 and 15,000, and then Devin Moran swept the second step of the podium. He took second both nights too.
I
So
was surprised Moran went there. I mean, I know it's in Ohio, but I don't know. He just, I feel like after Lucas got done, he would have taken a few weeks off, but said, screw it, we're
celebrate a
running.
ship, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think Atomic's very far from him.
No, I
So
don't
that
think it is, but
probably
I don't know. I just figured, and it was decent money too, so I don't really blame him for going or anything. But
right.
I
Yeah.
just he takes off. I feel like more than some other guys do. So like I wouldn't have been. I was kind of surprised that he showed up. I figured for sure he'd be just taking the weekend off.
Yeah. I think it was a bit of a late add to his schedule too. I think.
Oh,
So you're not wrong for those instincts. Um, I could be wrong on that, but the brain's buzzing saying I think when he announced he was going, like a bit of bit of change of plans, we decided to do this. So, um, oh, real quick, I wanted to circle back to why not did you see Turbo and oh, I'm drawing a
Dotson.
blank now, and Dotson get together on that last lap?
Yeah, I saw the clip. I didn't see the interview,
Yeah,
but I saw the
yeah,
quote of
yeah.
Dotson.
I love that quote. I just want to bring it up because I think it's a baller quote. But what did he say here? He made me make a decision on junking my car or his car, and I chose his. And I just think that's pretty straightforward. It's not a dickhead way of saying like stupid, play stupid games, win stupid prizes. I think
I think
like
most people would usually choose the other person's car.
yeah, yeah. I think most of the
I mean, even
time.
like on like the highway, it's like, oh, I either crash my car or someone else's. Like if you're on the
Yeah,
highway or something, I'm not
yeah.
crashing my own.
Yeah. No, I mean, agreed, right? It's like the context is super obvious, but I just like, I feel like it's a really pointed way of saying, like, you were a dumbass. And this was like kind of what was going to happen because you didn't think I was drunk in my shit, did you? So, I, and I don't know if the move was that egregious. I saw Turbo look like he kind of washed off, but the shot I saw was coming right down the straightaway, right? So you
That's
see
the one I
Turbo like
saw.
down there.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, look, baller from that shot though. That shot was killer. I like that one a lot. But anyway, and then I had touched last weekend though one for the road about this SCDRA show going down at Beckley for 10 grand, and I did just want to circle back and say Blaine Ellis won, and they had 63 cars there. That's a
Oh yeah,
very
that's a
solid field of
good
cars.
car count.
Yeah, so I'm still intrigued. My call for help didn't get as much feedback as I wanted. One gentleman was very kind, but he kind of told me like the bare minimum of what I already knew. I'm like, I'm still curious what the hell makes SCDRA like so fast and badass, but um, they must be allowed to modify them slightly more than
Yeah, just
like Whynot
more
does.
stuff they can do. Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, they're cool, and at some point I hope to catch a race of theirs. But as far as that goes, there was some interesting other things. I don't want to say like I was following along, but there were just random news and notes that popped up along the way, and so I kind of wanted to talk through a couple with you. But did you see RTJ was racing with USAC this weekend?
Yeah, and he did really, really good. Two top fives. I think it was a fourth Friday and fifth Saturday against like 50, was it 58 cars? It was 50 something cars they had.
50. Okay. Jeez, I
And
had 40 plus, but yeah, I mean,
it was like 50 they had
yeah,
there. So it
jeez.
wasn't like a 20 car field or something. It was all the bets were down there, and
Yeah,
he's held his own pretty easily. I know he's ran some
yeah.
non-wing stuff before too down there, but I don't think it was ever 410s. I could be wrong on that. And I actually think he's won down there, like when he used to live down there. Um,
Okay.
but yeah, he made his USAC debut or USAC sprint car debut because he's ran like
Yep.
Silver Crown before and stuff. And yeah,
Yep.
he
Yep.
two top fives. It's a very good weekend.
Yeah, and then I thought interestingly enough, USAC was the second. So Flow, I don't know that they've ever done this before, but they put out their
They
top
did it
5
last week.
shows. Did they? Okay,
Yeah.
so it's a newish thing, but they put out their top 5 like most watched shows, and that was second. And it makes you, I don't know how they normally stack up, but part of me is like, it feels like a little bit of an RTJ effect. Like I think a lot of the late model crowd was probably a little interested in catching that. So,
I don't know. I
um,
think it still probably would have been second anyways.
you
Just
think
there
so?
wasn't a ton on there.
Okay, there's not a lot
If
against it. You make a point.
I
The night the Stars came out was definitely number one, which
think it does
proves
that does show that late models and sprint cars are obviously still like the thing people are
the
watching
draw.
on there because USAC I think had the better like field compared to like everything else really that was on there. But
Yeah,
they wanted to watch I think like 25-ish in both classes at Atomic, and that was still the draw.
yeah. Which makes sense. They did have a pretty like star-studded field. Well, I shouldn't say star-studded, but they had Marler and Moran and a couple other
Yeah,
guys
I
there.
think
So
Carpenter
they,
showed up,
yeah,
but yeah,
yeah,
it's still super late models and sprint cars, which
both ends. Yeah.
that draws both sides too. So
I feel like we're gonna start seeing more of that. I mean,
I thought we were gonna see it when like High Limit
rip support
started.
classes. Yeah, true, right?
Like I thought for sure High
I don't
Limit and
know.
Lucas were gonna have like I know they had a couple, but I thought they were gonna have a good amount of joint shows or High Limit and Flow Night in America. When High Limit was still the weekday series, I thought they were gonna have joint
Oh
stuff,
yeah.
and it never happened.
Never did, no. Makes you wonder now with this RTJ crossover if we're not going to see some USAC Lucas dates.
That'd be
So
cool.
you can, that would be cool. Uh, so interesting. But I thought that was cool. You know, that guy really does race anything and he does it really freaking good. So at least anything on dirt. I don't think he's done much asphalt stuff yet, but I feel like we're not
I
too
do
far
think
away
he
from
did drive a midget on asphalt in
it. I
Indiana,
think so.
but yeah, that's all I know of.
Yeah, I think he did at least once. I mean, I know I wouldn't be shocked if he. It just feels like I wouldn't be shocked if we hear like he gets like a 2 race deal or something in Xfinity at some point along the line for just like
Yeah,
once everything's done, or like
I don't see him leaving like dirt though.
I don't
Like
either, but I
unless
could just see him getting
unless
the
it's a deal
opportunity.
where he can run dirt because they're letting that happen more. But like he just like he's running all the time. Like I don't know, it
Yeah,
doesn't seem like someone that would want to take off from dirt racing because if he's not running a late model, he's running a stock car or a sprint car, and if they don't let him do that, I don't think he'd be have any interest in it.
yeah. No, I hear that. Sometimes I always think though that like the not that you or I necessarily feel this way, but some people feel like the NASCARs are like the best of the best in the country, the best drivers, and so they want to go
Yeah.
prove themselves. So I get that. I don't know that I share that opinion. I think they're the best with the most money, but it is what it is. That's sort of late dirt racing sometimes too. Anyway, I'm on a tangent,
Also,
but
if he doesn't like the Lucas points format, he would hate the NASCAR one.
you make a point. No, I feel like there's enough interest where like people are intrigued to just see what he would do.
Oh,
You know?
I'd
Like
be curious to
yeah,
see him make
yeah,
a few starts, but it would
yeah,
suck if we lost him. But I don't think we'd lose him to
yeah. I
NASCAR.
don't think losing him so much. I think more towards that second part where we may see a few random starts just because everyone's kind of intrigued and wants to see what he can do. That kind of thing. But anyway, and then I also noticed it, I don't know enough to really know enough about this. I just thought it was interesting that they explained themselves, but the Gateway Dirt Nationals did some tire testing and they were trying to figure out their tire rule and they came out with basically run either Hoosier or American Racer, and then I think on the late model side there's some restrictions on the American Racer side. You have to have
The
certain
mods
tread
can
and
also run both then.
yeah, either or.
Okay, mods
Yep.
makes. I mean, I know they have the late model ones that they kind of came out with, but I know obviously like USRA guys run American racers,
Yep.
so that
Yep.
makes sense.
Yeah. So just kind of, I think you have to have the same brand across. No mixing and matching. We're not there yet, but um, but yeah, they gave him some options. So uh, for me, like just as a fan, I feel like this is a good thing where we've sort of demonstrated some parity across these two tires, at least for this particular race, and and I don't know, competition feels at least like a little bit like a good thing. I mean, everyone's complaining about this one or that one and how much tires cost and this and that. maybe this is a step in the right direction. Who knows? But
Well, there was a couple
uh,
series. There was one down south that did it where you could run either one. Because I remember Overton was running the American Racers with whatever series it was. I don't, was it
uh,
that Southern
could be
Thunder or something?
SAS or Southern Thunder, or
Yeah,
I don't
I just
think it
remember I
was.
remember it happening though. Like
Um,
you could run either
yeah,
one.
yeah. There's a few that do that. I think
Yeah.
I saw like the Revival tour maybe has
Oh
that. I
yeah.
don't know. It's become a bit of a debate on my timeline the last day or two. So like I've noticed a few things about it, but yeah, I think there's a few. I saw someone make a passionate plea at the Heartland late model tour to have a sensible tire rule too. So it's out there. Um, and then the like sort of the other thing that I thought was a bit interesting that I caught was Cedar Lake released their schedule, and they've got the USA Nationals is coming back, but it's still 100K. I think that was interesting. And then also they're getting the Mater Memorial again,
Yep.
so they had it for the first time last year, and they're getting it again. So that's 10,555 for late models in I think that's in July. So
Yeah,
hopefully
that sounds right.
maybe this year it won't conflict with WCS. Fingers crossed
Yeah.
with Challenge Series.
I remember I
That would
wanted to
be
go to
nice.
the Mater this year, but I had to work,
Yeah.
so did not
Yeah.
happen. But they had like
Well, maybe you'll
50
be
something
working
late
it.
models, I remember.
They did.
Probably
They had
not.
a few bit. Oh yeah, that makes sense. I thought a step further, and now it makes sense. Yeah, and then I think 2 years in a row the Masters has been rained out, but if they get it in this year, it's 12K. So
Are
that's
they
the
still doing the
USMTS show
like
there.
3K, 5K? Okay.
Yep, yep. 3K, 5K, 12, and then that's for both the late models and the modifieds. Yeah, so that's always a fun show. I do enjoy going to that show. They're now with the Mater and the Masters and the USA Nationals, they've got three shows for late models paying over 10,000.
Oh,
That's pretty
that's
cool.
pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So Cedar Lake trying to carve out a lane in the late model game around here. I mean, they're on the
They've
resurgence.
they've kind of been always like the late model track, I feel like, in
They
that
kind of
area.
have been.
But now
The
they're
Philly,
kind of just trying to like get a bigger lead, I guess.
reassert their dominance, it
Yeah.
feels like a little bit. So, but that's a good slate of cars. And then the other thing too, I don't remember. Oh yeah, the Reichert Memorial is usually a IRA day in September, and that
Yep.
got moved to July 25th. So
Oh, so
they're
that's the week before the USA Nationals, ain't it? Because that's
yeah,
like PDC week. Yeah.
yep.
Do they still
So
have the Outlaw Sprint Car show in July?
so that one's in June. That's the last weekend in June. They
Oh,
they
so
used to
it's
be on
in
the fourth
it's
weekend. They
yeah, it's
moved
still
it a
the
week
same.
ahead.
Okay.
Yep. So that one's there too. But yeah, that July is jam packed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Masters is in June, but they've got the Mater and the Riker and then USA Nationals first weekend in August. So there's a lot going on there. Oh, and then I don't remember the date on this. I forgot to write it down, but I wanted to tell you. They're gonna try their hand at a 10K Midwest mod show.
Oh, I did. It was
So
September they're doing it. Is it the
yeah,
12th or
okay.
something? It might be during
Could be.
the 100, honestly. But I did see that they're gonna try 10K there, which
Yeah.
they'll probably get a although we thought the last one would get a good amount and nobody entered, so
No one entered. They got more entries than their pre-entries after they lowered the price on that one. So, but anyway, so I thought that was interesting too. It just now anytime I see a 10K Midwest Mod show, I'm like, have we not learned? But I suppose if it's a 1 day show, maybe it doesn't matter. That 2 day format might have been the scare away. But anyway, with that, we can kind of transition to the week ahead, which I think is kind of light. I've got another football game. Like I mentioned, they won, so we keep playing. We're playing on Halloween now, in the rain. So this Friday's going to be interesting. But are you going racing?
I planned on it, but now I don't know, it's looking unlikely. This I was gonna go to Davenport because they added a show in November, but after sitting in the cold all last weekend, I really don't know if I want to sit in the cold one more weekend. I think I might just say screw it. And I don't know how many cars they'll get. It's a late edition. There's not like crazy payouts, so it's like 5.5 hours. I don't know. I don't know if I want to do it. I might just stay home. I've been to a race every weekend since the Nippy 50, which was March 28th and 29th. Every weekend I've been at a racetrack. So I think I think I'll live taking one weekend off because then the next 2 weeks after this weekend I'll be at a racetrack again. So
Yeah, yeah. At least in warm weather though.
yeah,
So that's like,
I'll be warm for the next
yeah,
3 events I have should all be warm because well the dome will be inside and then the other two
yeah,
are going to be in the desert. So I
yeah.
think we'll be okay.
Should be all right. Although it gets cold at night in the
That is
desert,
true.
so yeah.
But I won't
But
need a jacket on at 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
fair enough, fair enough. But well, with that, we might actually watch some racing. Although it being Halloween weekend, you never, I don't know. I feel like you got something up your sleeve on a Friday. You're probably going partying or something.
I am going to friend's house too. That's another reason I might be too hungover to go to a race on Saturday, especially if they move the
Oh,
start time up like they're mentioning, because then I'd have to leave like 8 a.m. I might be running on about 2 hours of sleep or something. I don't know if that's a good idea.
yeah. To drive 5 hours to sit in the cold to watch.
And drive back because we ain't getting a
Yeah,
hotel, so I don't know.
no. That feels like a skip. I mean,
Probably.
and earned, by the way, absolutely earned. 5 straight months at a racetrack. Yeah, you've earned it, bud. You can 6 straight, seven. It's almost
Yeah,
7. Anyway,
a
yeah.
lot.
Yeah, you've earned it. You've earned a weekend. Go trick or treating
8.
if you want.
Or no,
Going.
yeah, 7 pretty much, because
Yeah,
only
yeah,
one weekend in
7.
March, so 7.
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah. I wouldn't blame you if you went, but you still have racing on the horizon, so it's not like you're chasing a
Yeah, I
last
still
show.
have
You know what I
eight
mean?
eight more races. So
Yeah, exactly, right. So if it was like this and then I've got nothing until next season starts, you might
yeah,
could like
if I had nothing else planned, there's like almost guaranteed I'd be going down to Davenport
yeah,
this weekend.
yeah, yeah. But you've got some warm weather races and indoor race still to go. Yeah, you can you can stay warm. And plus you're showing your age. You're just getting older and older apparently, and now you can't even handle the cold. You're not adapting very well. You're
I'm
not
not
adapting very
adapting.
well. But anyway, well, so as far as watching races, I honestly think you and I will probably both catch Sunday of the National 100 at East Alabama Motor Speedway. I'm noticing a Sunday late model race is a winner for me. I can usually make time for
Yeah,
that one.
I like the Sunday ones.
Yep. Yep. So we've got the National 100. They're racing three. So they've got three full shows going down there. It's Friday 5,000 for super late models, and then Saturday is 10,000, and then Sunday is 30,000. And then you had mentioned quite gleefully, and I think it's a reason to be gleeful. But this is on Flow now,
Yep.
so we've been freed, and we're on big time streaming now. So um, this is a cool. This show keeps kind of like I think at one point was like a. So this has transitioned a bunch, right? It was I think HTF one year, and then XR managed to finagle it out of there, and that was kind of
And it
rough. And
was
then
on
last year,
Flow like it used to be on
yeah,
Flow too.
yeah, it was on Flow, then it was on HT Hunt the Front, then it was on whatever, and then I don't. I think last year was the year that it kind of got all wonky. But anyway, now feels like something's back to stasis, and we're back on Flow, and we've got a big purse. And this, I also remember last year. So this show ran against the Hunt the Front like season finale last year at I-75, and I think it kind of impacted both shows. We don't have that
I
situation this year.
I do
So.
think if I remember right, because they run Sunday. I do think some guys from Hunt the Front Show came down to
There were
East.
a few,
Yeah,
yes.
okay.
Yep, yep. There were a few, but now I think without a competing show like that and people not having to, super truck it anywhere, like I think I'm not suspecting a massive field, but what did I write down? I think last year they had 31. I think we'll get over that.
I
I
think
just
so.
think by the nature of the schedule looking
I
the
feel
way it
like
does.
doesn't like Dennis Erb usually come down to this? I think
He's
you think
confirmed to
he
be
comes.
there.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, he's confirmed to be there. So I did see a few. I saw Dennis Erb, Big Perms in the Big Frog car. So he'll
Okay.
be there. And then Kyle Bronson. And then I have written down on my notes Turbo, but I don't know that I actually saw that confirmed. I think I just based on I think he was there last year and or no, he wasn't. That's right, he wasn't. That was what oh, I remember that was when all of a sudden those guys that were running all those shows stopped going to all those shows.
I'm looking at his Facebook right now. He has
Yeah.
nothing. He has no post about going there.
No
So
post about going there. No,
I wouldn't be
no.
surprised if like Overton shows up, maybe.
I
Um,
could see that. Yeah. I don't know about the Hunt the Front guys, but they've ran this before, and maybe they'll be there. I do think some of the Hunt the Front regulars will be there. I could see Seawright being
oh yeah,
there, um, and maybe Josh Putnam and a couple other guys. So I suspect. I do think we'll get over 31 is where I'm kind of
Brent
hoping for.
Larson's been hanging out down there. He was at Whynot
Yeah,
and he was
actually, I
somewhere
think
else the week before.
yeah, he's racing with his kid Matthew. I think they're going to be I think Matthew for sure will be there. I actually was trying to look into this while I was preoccupied with something else. Is Larson also running these shows, or is he just
He ran. There was one 2 weeks
okay?
ago that I know he was at. I can't. I remember seeing him there. Oh, it was Talladega. He was at.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think Brent Larson ran Whynot too. Let's do some live research.
I'm writing for research. Yeah, I've
Yes,
been
he
following
was
a little
there.
bit. Okay. Yeah, he's like basically since the last Woo show down south, and then
Yeah, he's just
with
stayed down there.
Charlotte, he just stayed down there and racing. And then he brought his son Matthew, who's done some racing up by me, because he's from this area up here. So he's down there racing too. So like he's getting a little bit of a southern swing and I think he's only like 18, somewhere between
Yeah,
18 and
he's young.
21. So yeah, he's a young
Unless,
kid.
unless are they going to Charlotte? Because didn't I feel like Matthew ran a crate at Charlotte last year?
He might have. He's been running super stuff
Okay,
this
then
year.
it's probably will
Yep.
be East Alabama, but who knows? I bet
Yep.
she'll be at one of these two shows.
Yep. 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 So, I wouldn't be surprised to see both of them there. So anyway, it'll be a cool show, and it's on a Sunday night. Like, I mean, if your team's not playing Sunday night football, or you ain't got a fantasy score to watch,
Or if you got multiple
what,
TVs.
or if you got multiple TVs. I feel like I'm stuck in the Stone Age because I really do just generally have one device wherever I am. I don't have multiple screens. So I'm making a choice, I'm not, and I don't usually do the phone thing. Sometimes I do, but anyway, I digress. I think the other thing we'll at least keep an MRP eye on is you brought this up, so you talk about it. You introduce it for us.
Charlotte.
What else is going on? Yeah.
Yeah, is it World Short Track Championship? I believe is the name.
Ooh, we got
Did I
all
get
the
close?
words in the wrong order.
World
Yeah, sure. I
Short
didn't mean
Track
to.
World,
I
yeah,
was
Short
like,
Track World Championship,
yeah,
right? Yeah.
yeah. There you go.
Um,
Yeah,
yeah, that's at Charlotte. It's kind of like the Super Nationals, USRA Nationals for like UMP stuff, I guess. That's kind of what it is.
yeah.
They have like 400 and was it 410? Do they have 400 something entries they have right on MRP right now. And that might either go down a bit or go up uh, with guys who didn't pre-register or don't show up. But either way, they always get a ton of cars for it. And I don't know why I always like watching this show. I've wanted to go to this for some reason too. Is I think because I just have the goal of going to all of the sanctions like big race, and this would be one of them.
Yep. This would
Um,
be the one for them.
but yeah, it's Thursday. It's qualifying hot laps for like everybody, and they have four features, like championship features. I don't know exactly how they choose who's in it. I do know it says the top 10 in qualifying lock in, but I think they start like 20. So I don't know if the other 10 are like past champions, past I don't know highest finishers from
Track
last year.
champions or
Yeah,
something.
all
Yeah,
kind of
yeah,
stuff. And that's for the 604s, Pro Stocks, Sportsman, and Modifieds, UMP
yeah,
mods.
yeah.
And then Friday, everyone runs heat races except for the Hornets. They get to run like 15 lap features, like three of them or something. But they get paid on Friday
They
for
do
the
get
500
paid. They're
bucks. I
no,
don't
they're
think
not
anyone,
chumps.
I don't think anyone else gets paid for the heat race. So they do get paid Friday night. And then Saturday, it's B mains and features for everybody. Kind of like a Wasota show type of format.
Yeah. And then I didn't write it down, but it's something like 9, 10 classes, right? It was a fair amount of
Yeah, it's a
classes,
lot of
man.
class. I
Yeah,
think it's like 10.
yeah,
And
yeah.
it's like a
And then
mix of like classes from like the Northeast area, like the Northeast Sportsman mods and Pro Stocks, and then classes from like Southeast kind of area, like
yeah,
UMP
like
mods
mini
and
stocks.
Midwest, I guess too. But yeah, like mini stocks and Thunder Bombers and
Yeah,
all that stuff.
yeah.
Crates,
It
a
is.
bunch of
It
crate late
is.
models.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I think part of the reason you might enjoy watching it is because it is on some level stuff that's just visually a little bit different than we have
Yeah,
around
it's not
here.
stuff we see all the time.
Yep, yep. Yeah, between like the the Northeast Modifieds, the Pro Late, or the not the Pro. Yeah, what do they call them? Pro stocks, the
Pro
Pro
stocks,
stocks,
yeah.
Thunder Bombers. We don't. I don't know what mini stocks are. I assume there's some version
Mini
of
stocks are like,
the
if I remember
monster
right,
mini stocks, technically.
they're kind of like four cylinders, but kind of like street stocks, if I remember right. They're like weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
Bolton plays them on iRacing. I think they're rear wheel drive, so I think it's like a. I think I don't know for
yeah. I
sure.
know the Hornets are
Um,
like the SCDRA ones, so they're
yeah,
the fast
yeah.
Hornets, so that's cool. And they got 70 of them.
Yeah, so well, I'll get to figure out what's going on. I'm curious about this. So
I also
be
like
my opportunity to
this
check them
show
out.
too because they have like four different announcers for like divisions because like they have
Okay.
like I know Chris Steppen, assuming he's going there this year, like he would do like the
For the
mods
mods.
and some stuff. Then they'd have some Northeast guys for the Northeast divisions, and I think they have a different guy for like the Thunder Bombers. It's kind of just funny. They're like rotating announcers from guys that know the drivers more. I always thought that was funny.
I actually like that.
Yeah, it's
Just
kind of
hearing
changes
it
it
like
up.
first pass, yeah. Like, because what makes an announcer good is like a knowledge or like a connection to the thing he's announcing, you know. And that's not to say some of these guys can't roll in and make a good production, but I think also because it is rewarding everyone for the season, right? This is like the big capping event of the season. Reward those announcers too, man. And like I don't know, I heard it and the first hearing it, I'm like, that's cool as hell. Like
Yeah.
it makes it more of a celebration. So
It makes it kind of easier for the announcers instead of trying to like get info on 400 guys. You can focus on a couple divisions and some of the guys you know, like a lot of you might have all the sponsors already written down and stuff. It saves you
yeah,
some work instead of
yeah,
trying to get sponsors for 410 cars. You're tracking down Hornet drivers and
yeah.
Thunder Bomber guys you've never heard of before.
Yeah. And I'm also a big sucker for like the random tidbit of knowledge. And that's tough for a guy who doesn't cover a class or cover the racers to give you that, you know, but
Yeah.
every now and then you know, like the Carson Butt thing. Like I'm watching the broadcast, I found out that's his first year racing. First year racing, and he won one of those cool trophies at the Harvest Hustle. So
Well, the
like,
combine.
but yeah, yeah. But so like, so you know, like I digged it. I guess I'm just going long-winded to say I maybe we should try that out in other places too. You know, I like that. So anyway, and then yeah, so that's kind of more or less what we'll be paying attention to. Oh, I do want to mention the mods and is it the Sportman modifieds, the 358
No,
Northeast
it's
modifieds?
I thought it was the crates. You're talking about the ones that pay eight
Oh,
grand.
604 late models. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what it is. Yep, yep. So yeah, the UMP mods and the 604 lates both are winning 8K here as well. So I think that's a boost up for the mods for
I
sure.
believe so, yeah.
Yeah, UMP usually doesn't pay their mod guys very good. So 8 for them is very solid. Um, so I think we could see some interesting names there. We did look at some of the pre-entries. It's a lot of like the mod, at least on the modified side, like modified mafia guys. A lot of people you'd expect just being over in that
Yeah.
area. So I did read too that Hoffman's going to be there helping out all his elite customers. So I suspect most of the elite boys like Mefford and
Yep,
Nicely and
Medford, both of them are on there, yep. I think
yeah, yeah.
Strickler's ran this in the past. I didn't see him on there, but I'm almost positive he ran it
I
last
think he
year, actually.
has. Yeah.
So I think there'll be
Yeah.
more mods than what are entered on there.
I think so. I wouldn't be shocked to see Cole Falloway there.
Yeah.
Also, I, I he won the national championship, so maybe he doesn't show up. But I learned in researching for the show that apparently paid 25,000 to win the national championship in the mods.
Yeah, I think that might be the highest like national points thing for mods, like out of all the major
Yeah,
sanctions.
that's a boatload.
Because I
That's a
think
lot
with
of money.
Soda's like 10 or something like that,
I
510.
think so.
IMCA, I don't know what it is. I know it's not 25K. USRA, I'm not
Oh,
sure, but I can't imagine it's that
I
much.
guess that. No, no, no. That's a lot. That's pretty cool. So, anywho. Anywho, I think actually, Carter, that is everything we intended to talk about, though. So that means it's time for.
The one for the road, and mine is actually one I saw shortly before recording. So Volunteer Speedway, Bulls Gap released their schedule, and on it, well, one there I did see it looks like they're going to have either Outlaw or Lucas show in March because they put series announcement coming or something like that. So that'll be cool.
Okay.
And then they have a Flow Night in America in September, the Scott Bloomquist Memorial that they had this year. But the thing that interested me is in the middle of April they're doing it's called the Gauntlet. The Gauntlet at the Gap is what they're calling it. And so Tuesday, April 14th, it'll be 7,500 to win for super late models. Then Wednesday it'll be 10K. Then Thursday is an off night, and then Friday it'll be 20K to win. And then on Saturday it's 30K to win. But the part that I found really interesting was if any driver who won just one prelim night, they don't have to sweep the whole thing. If you win one prelim night and then also win Saturday, you get $100,000 bonus. Which usually with that big of a bonus, it's like you have to sweep the whole thing, kind of like Votto or Wild West Shootout. They do that, but it's literally just win one and you get a chance at a 100K bonus if you win Saturday. So you get 130K for sure, and then it depends which, or no,
Which
actually
night you
no,
won?
yeah, it depends which prelim
Yeah,
night you win. You could
yeah,
walk out with like 150K.
yeah.
If you win them all, they said you could walk out with $167,000. But
It's not a
yeah,
bad week of
I
racing.
feel like the chance that someone getting that bonus is quite high. Like you just have to
It
win one
feels that
prelim,
way.
and there's a chance there could be
Yeah.
multiple guys going for it. It's not just one guy has a chance that there could be three guys going for this bonus on Saturday.
Well, conceivably there should be. Well, I mean, I get what you're saying, unless
Yeah,
someone
like
wins multiple nights. But
someone,
yeah,
say
yeah,
Marlar's there,
yeah,
he could win Thursday or Tuesday, Wednesday, and then I don't know, McDowell wins Friday. Could be two
yeah.
guys, or someone could win all three. One guy going
Yeah,
for it. Yeah, it'll be
Jimmy Owens wins one of them, and then we
yeah,
got McDowell, Jimmy Owens, and Marla trying to win. Yeah, I
exactly.
mean, I like that. I don't know what that's up against as far as dates, or if that'll somehow catch up as a series date for somebody somewhere, or what that sanctioning looks like for that. But it'll draw an interesting field. You know, there's
Yeah,
like TBD more to come, but
I am
I'll be
curious
interested
too
because
if guys can show up like just Friday, and if they win Friday,
right,
or do they have to run all four? Because I could see someone
because
skipping
like
Tuesday, oh, 7,500, I'm not showing up for that. But then they come the rest of the week.
yeah. Or I could also, I mean, it'd be weird, but I could see a guy winning one of those and being like, oh, maybe I'll skip. You know, what if you win Monday and you just be like, I'm going to take Tuesday off and
Well,
then
if
I'll
you win
race for
Monday,
20 and
you'll be the only guy there because they don't race
or
Monday.
Tuesday or whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
These days are everywhere. But
I know
yeah,
what you mean.
but I could see that, right? I won 7,500. I don't need to go tear up my
That
stuff
is
for
true.
10.
You could,
I'll
yeah, you
chill.
win
Yeah.
Tuesday. I'll save my car for the Saturday. Maybe I could see him running Friday. That's
Yeah,
20
probably
grand.
Friday. You probably
But
go
I
get
feel like
try to get a 20
I'll
too, but
take two
yeah.
days off and come back and run Friday, Saturday, and
Yep.
yeah, because
Yep.
if you just need to win one, it's like all right, I'm already locked in for that chance at 100 grand.
So that'll be the interesting like piece of the puzzle. Do you have to race in all four, or can you just, as long as you win one and win the big one, can you cash the check? You know, so that'll be an interesting factor. Because, like,
No,
what if a series is close by and they rain out on Friday? You know, and
yeah,
then all of a sudden they come piling in, and you know,
hopefully they didn't word this totally wrong, and it's like, oh, actually, you do have to win all four. But it's the way it's
yeah,
worded. It does say you just
win
need to
one
win
of the few.
one preliminary night. So
Yep, yep, yeah. That's cool. Rare you see a big bonus like that and have it feel so attainable. So
exactly,
I
yeah.
do
Like
like it.
usually
Yeah.
it's like the Wild West Shootout. It's like that's going to be really tough and stuff. But yeah, this one is pretty easy to get. I feel like.
Yeah, it feels almost guaranteed in a weird in a weird it would be hard. It's not impossible for there to be like four different winners over a 4-day race week, but usually someone gets something figured out, you know?
Yeah.
And then yeah, so anyway, it'll be something interesting to watch. So anyway, for mine's also a bit of a series announcement. So it's like it's a little bit mixed emotions. I'll be completely honest with you. So, but starting with the positive, so Hendry County, which I believe is the southernmost dirt track in the United States,
Yep.
picked up a national touring date. So they got a World of Outlaws date, late model World of Outlaws date, February 20th and 21st, which I mean makes sense. This is when everyone is in Florida. So I get that it would be somewhere in this time. I also think it's cool because you and I don't know if you'll recall this, but way back earlier in the year, we had mentioned this Swamp Cabbage 100 was
Hmm.
happening. And they had an interesting field of cars, and they did I think they had crate late models at the time, but they
Yeah.
got an interesting field and they paid pretty well.
They had like
Um,
a ton of cars for that. Remember they had
Yeah.
like factory stocks and Crown Vics.
Yep.
And there was a ton of cars because I think they all paid
Tons.
a crazy they paid a crazy money for all four classes.
Hmm. Yep. So I always thought the name Swamp Cabbage 100 was interesting. It turns out like there's a whole festival that goes on in in this area called the
Yeah, I didn't
Swamp
I
Cabbage
that
Festival.
would
So
explain it then. I thought it was just like that was
yeah.
just the name they came up with, but if it's off
Yeah.
something.
Yep. So I guess this race is scheduled during this festival. So I was reading the press release, kind of figuring out what's happened. I think it's cool because Hendry County apparently has been working towards this for a couple of years, and they've been responsive to the feedback they've gotten. So hard work pays off. Always exciting and cool. I also like that they got two dates. They got Friday and Saturday. It's paying 20 grand. Um, one of the things that I thought was really interesting was that every ticket is a pit pass, or as they're calling it, all access ticket. They're stealing that from me, but I did think that was cool. Every ticket, just right away, all access pass. So they're doing their best to turn people out and get them to connect to the drivers of the sport and all of that. I dig that a ton. And then, as I mentioned towards the top, my son is on a bass fishing team. If anyone's still watching and owns a business and would like to sponsor the Spring Lake Park High School fishing team, by all means, get in contact with me. I can help you out with that. And that's for real. Like, I mean, I'm helping these guys out. I'm legit serious on that. But anyway, just throwing it out there. But I also like that they're going to have a bass fishing tournament for the drivers during the week. So there's always random things we see people do, golf tournaments here and there and other things, but a bass fishing
Yeah,
tournament,
that's a
like
new
that's
one.
leaning into what you got.
Usually it's like golf or cornhole. That's like the two that
Yeah,
always get
yeah.
picked.
I feel like a bass fishing is a good, like you're gonna get enough guys who know how to fish. I don't
Yeah.
feel like you're out of your depth on that. There's a fair crossover between racers and fishermen, I think. So, although racers are usually very busy on the weekends. but, but so that's kind of the good. The bummer part about this though is that Lucas had already pushed all of their whole Speedweeks thing into February after the 500, had basically just been like conceded January, and somehow their very first race is the same weekend as this Hendry County date for the World of Outlaws. So we did the will they won't they pick 'em thing last year. We're not going to be able to do that this year. There's going to be no. It'll just be who shows up at Hendry County and who shows up at Alltech, and then that'll be your series, and
Yep.
that'll be
Well,
the very first weekend that Lucas races. So, kind of kills the storylines there. I think also it doesn't make to me, it doesn't make a ton of sense when you're bringing all of these teams down to Florida to like split the field while you're down there.
yeah.
I just don't see the need. It doesn't make any sense. I Yeah, I don't know. I'm a little frustrated by that. Everyone, it feels like everybody been playing nice, and it really had become a little bit more of a like a we're gonna bring you all down here, and we're gonna let you all race for big money, and you can kind of pick and choose where you want to go, but we're gonna have places anywhere from Georgia to Florida,
Florida. That's
and
basically
yeah,
basically.
We're gonna have Georgia and Florida. And we're gonna have you for almost 2 months. So we're gonna just have big paying races, and you can pick and choose what you want to go to. And like the only thing that's gonna limit you is if you want to race that much or not. And I love that vibe. Like there's guys that are just grinding it out, trying to get a lead in one series and make a bunch of money. Anyway, all of that, and then it's just like it's kneecapped on the very first weekend
And
that Lucas starts up.
Rigsby made a post, and the one thing that I understood, but I still don't think they should have done it is you're not paying like the Outlaws don't have to pay like 30 guys tow money that sign up right away. You're pretty much cutting it to like 15. But aside from that, like you're splitting up cars. Your audiences are going to be split that weekend on streaming
Hmm.
and maybe even in person. Probably I think they're far enough away where that shouldn't be an issue,
They're
but for sure
far enough away
streaming.
that shouldn't. Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and the track like Hendry County's cool. And I'm glad they're going there because I'll watch it, but I feel like that's not the place you want to go when you're splitting up all the cars that are down. Because you're not drawing from
Right?
it's not like there's a hotbed of supers in this all the way at the bottom of Florida. Like if you
Yeah,
were in
if
if
you're
you were
wondering where
in
it's by Fort Myers, Florida. For those who
yeah,
understand
if
geography, it's like where the
if
twins go to training camp. Anyway,
if
but
you were in Georgia, like I think it could have worked out if you were in a certain part of Georgia and then Lucas was at Alltech. I think you could have been able to split it and still got decent car counts at both. But I think Lucas, I think will have a perfectly fine car count. I think Outlaws will struggle to get 30 down there. Like you're gonna get the guys that are running it, and then the few guys are like, oh, I've never been here, let's go here. But like aside from that, like I'm closer to all. Everyone else is closer to Alltech, so they're just probably gonna go there or go nowhere.
Yeah. And I hate it. I hate that aspect of it for Hendry County because I would have loved for them to have done all this work and got this day and just had it been clear. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Just clear from any conflict and had 50 supers show up because who doesn't want to say they've raced at the
Southern is.
southernmost dirt track? Yeah. Like people would have done that to do that, but now, they can stay a little closer to home base for the next month and and not have to super truck it past Fort Myers to go race. So anyway,
I'm looking up.
anyway,
They are out of curiosity. They're 4.5 hours apart, but
yep.
sorry about my dog. But every car
They,
from Georgia would basically be driving past Alltech.
to
Would
get there,
another 4 hours past Alltech, 4.5 to
yeah,
get there.
yeah,
So
on the freeway,
yeah.
in Florida freeways, woo.
So I don't know.
And
Yeah,
I don't, yeah, and I
it's
hate that I'm
interesting.
like, yeah, I mean, I hate that I'm like saying a negative thing about this because when I first saw it, I was like, yes, like I remember talking about them. They like I'm a bit of a shill if people interact with our stuff and they like are like, you know, I don't know. Like if people interact with our stuff when we're talking about them, I personally feel like a little more invested. Like, hey, I'm glad that they see this and they appreciate it, right? They were all about our stuff. Not that that sways me too much, but that's why I got excited. I'm like, hey, those guys, like good for those guys. And then immediately, once I did like 5 minutes of digging, I'm like, that date feels weird. And then I looked at it and I was like, you know, and so, um, but anyway, and so it's a good and a bad thing. Good for Hendry County. I think they're gonna do a fantastic job, and I hope the racing is so banger that they can get a whole freaking week next year, and we don't have to
That'd
worry
be
about all
cool.
this nonsense. Yeah, that
They
would
are
be
at
cool.
Lucas is out at Alltech that weekend, right? I just want to make sure I wasn't saying the wrong track the whole time. Do we
No, it's all
know?
tech. You're right.
Okay, good.
It's all tech. Yep.
So they used to start at Golden Isles first, but Golden Isles is like last this year, ain't it? Or towards it's
Yeah,
not. Yeah, okay.
they reconfigured it. So they're starting at all tech and then Ocala and
It
then
would have
I don't
worked out
remember.
better, I think, if they're at Golden Isles first. Could have got some of
Yeah.
the Florida cars to go to Henry County, but
Yep. 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 So, but hey, these things are always fluid. So 1 year doesn't necessarily determine next year, right? If Henry County shows out and does a good job of the hand they're dealt, this could look completely different next year. And
and
maybe everyone goes, that was a bad idea scheduling on top of
and
each
hopefully we're
other.
wrong on car count. Hopefully they get if they get 35-ish, 30, like hey,
Yeah.
that'd be good. But yeah, I am concerned about car count, about how many will show up
Yeah.
down there.
Yeah. But I think what they get though will put on some good racing. I think Boom Briggs apparently lives like 10 minutes from the track. I learned this from an article, so it's not like I'm doing weird creepo stuff here. But Boom Briggs lives like 10 minutes from the track, and I guess he was at the Swamp Cabbage this past year and was like, that was some dang good racing. They were side by side throwing down sliders for lead. It's also a quarter mile.
Yeah, I
So,
do like
and
that
we're big fans of that. So,
because I feel like a
and I
lot of
bet she's
the
juiced up all the time.
all the speed week tracks now are not big. Besides Alltech's big, but they're not quarter
Yep.
miles. We don't like
Nope.
so I'll take a bull ring to be tossed into
Yep.
the speed week circuit. I don't think is
Well,
Bubba or Ocala, whatever they're calling it now. Is that a quarter mile? I don't think so. That's bigger than that, right?
I think it's a little bit bigger than that. I'm not
Yeah,
exactly
and
sure
its
on the side.
shapes
It's
goofy.
exactly, yeah. Yeah, I did. So in the article, so I'm referencing, I think, mostly just the World of Outlaws press release here. But in that press release, they did also, I don't know who mentioned it, but someone was quoted saying basically like, with East Bay missing now, Hendry County, we fit a bit of an interesting niche now in the speed week schedule, right? Like, and so that's to your point of I don't think there are any other quarter miles on the schedule.
Mm.
So
Golden
if they
Isles,
can,
Ocala, Alltech, and
right?
Volusia, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then
So
whatever other stuff is kind of Hunt the Front's got some
yeah,
stuff going on at Swainsboro
yep,
and Needmore. Screven's kind of tossed in there. It's really
yep,
weird speed weeks. And it's all on.
yeah,
I mean, it was like this last year, but I hate that it's kind of all on like different streaming platforms. Like some's on Flow, some's on Dirt
yeah,
Vision, now some's on Hunt the Front. I'll have two of them for sure, probably Dirt Vision and Flow. But
yeah. Yeah.
If I'm bored enough, I could be convinced to get on the front.
Yeah. I mean, if anybody from any of those streaming services are watching and they think that us having the opportunity to watch and talk about these races is valuable to them, we are all ears. I just will throw that out there. I know, 55 minutes into this podcast, they're definitely on their edge of their seat waiting for me to say that, but here we are. Anyway, but Carter, I think that's all we got, yeah?
That's all I got.
All
Chiefs
right. Well, if
are
there's
killing the Commanders right now. Live updates.
sounds about right. How's Mariota doing? What have you saved your 48-point week, or
Oh no,
I'm
I'm not
mixing up
starting
your
them.
teams? But yeah,
But no, yeah. I only got last I looked, I had 38 points scored in fantasy football. An all-time great week by the team. We had 8 points after the 3 o'clock game.
yeah. Yeah. This is in the Dirt Info Fantasy League too, so you just absolutely just
Yeah,
shite the bed this week in that. I got, I think, my third win. My third win. My team finally showed up, so I'm on the comeback trail now. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. I had, so much like your 38-point week. I'm gonna end on this. I promise. Scored the third least amount of points, and I still won in my big money league. So that was a nice clutch up there.
play the right
We would have
people.
lost to just
For-
yeah, up into and including my buddy whose birthday is today. So happy birthday, Joel. That has to sting. But anyway, all right, we're out of here. Thanks for hanging out. If you're still here, you better like it. I can see how many people watch to the end, so it better match up. And with that, we're heading out of here.
Goodbye.